Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Chasta and Huey. So blessed, so excited, so grateful to be on the line with one of my all-time favorites, Ian Astbury of the Cult and Death Cult. How are you, sir? It's so wonderful to see you.
Okay, pretty burnt, to be
Pretty
honest with
burnt?
you.
Hey,
Yeah,
I can only imagine. You've been running and burning all the candles at all the ends.
yeah.
But you're kicking ass, though. That's great.
Coming straight out of COVID, going into 3 years of touring. Plus, we made
Kicking.
an album. Plus, we made an album during COVID as well, which was,
Yeah,
let's say, challenging. Yes. So we're at the end of a pretty long run.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
I know you guys just played what Vegas Friday night and Arizona over the weekend. So
That's
then,
correct.
yeah, and then tonight. So yeah, I encourage everyone get your last minute tickets. The Cult and Death Cult playing the Warfield in San Francisco, legendary venue. So get your last minute tickets over at axs.com and also the warfieldtheater.com. But yeah, Ian, like Chasta is like super excited to talk to you. She has like so much to talk about, connection with you, your
Jump in.
music, all that stuff.
Jump
Well, it's
straight in.
It's funny, Ian, because I was telling Huey last week, we were talking about the importance of your music, and I said, like, upon reflection, it's interesting to me because when I was a little girl growing up in Southern Oklahoma, and I was listening to a lot of rock bands like out of the 80s that were fun and like, I enjoyed them and everything, but it wasn't until I found the Cult that I went, whoa, like something is happening here. This is something different. And you opened my eyes up to a whole new world, not just of music but really of like a way of seeing energy and frequency and sort of a way of passing through the world. So thank you for that. Thank you for enlightening me and sort of opening my eyes for the first time. It was such a special moment for me.
That's beautiful. You had that experience, and you continue to have that experience with our music. That's because that's really what got me interested in music. With like a spiritual path with David Bowie
Yeah.
very very early on.
hmm
Seeing Pink Floyd very early on,
Yeah.
and probably being exposed to things like growing up around the Beatles,
Yeah.
in because I grew up in the northwest of Britain, so
Yeah.
literally uh, across the river from Liverpool.
Jeez. The
So
magic, the
it was
juju
like
there.
ground zero for Juju.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
yeah, and it's really interesting you bring that up just because I think the listeners know like I grew up loving punk rock and being
Mm,
from the Bay Area, I'm a huge fan of just our local scene here in the Bay Area. All the bands that came through here play like
well,
924 Gilman Street, obviously like Green Day, Op Ivy, Rancid, AFI, and Dead Kennedys, all that stuff. And so I'm always fascinated different regions of the world where like punk rock and different like subgenres of that sense develop and created. But for you, man, you came up like at one of the foundations for punk rock in England.
beyond
That's
punk rock.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
post punk, new
Yeah.
wave. Yeah, I mean, please tell me, like at the time, going through that, living through that, and when you moved back there from your time living in Canada,
Mhm.
did you know that like something special was brewing, like
Of
something
course
that would be
not.
influential for years to come?
Of course not. It's
Really?
just the way of things. It's just the way it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't until everybody got retrospective, I suppose,
hmm
and even now more so that we're in the digital.
Yeah. Exactly. Just yeah, like the way streaming is now, and just various documentaries. But like, I know for you, like I can only you opened for the Clash one time. I mean, how was that
I saw the
experience?
Clash in the
Yeah,
70s when I was a
yeah,
teenager. But all of that is, they're my lived experiences. They're not unique in the sense of
hmm
I was surrounded by many thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of kids, youth that were going through similar
yeah,
experiences. The music hit us all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you talk about the Bay Area. I mean, we've been coming here since 1984.
yeah.
We're playing the I-Beam on Haight Street.
Yes,
Of
legendary
course.
spot. Yeah, yeah,
I
That is
remember
yeah.
a little
legendary.
punk rocker, like a 13-year-old skate punk, little little skate rat came up to us on Haight Street, and he looks at me, he goes, "Go back to where you come from."
Oh, wow.
And I said,
That's wild.
where do you think I come from? Because last time I checked, you're just a child. And
Yeah.
And we've been going even in 1984. I mean, we'd had quite. I started off as a stagehand,
Hmm.
Hmm.
um, like lifting gear up. One
Yeah.
of the first gigs I worked was like U2, nascent U2.
So
I mean, they were babies. They were
Hmm.
baby babies. But coming out of punk rock, Liverpool was very important. Formative time going to a club called Eric's in Liverpool,
Hmm.
right at the very end of Eric's. But it was a very, very fertile period for music. I mean, Joy Division were active.
Yeah.
Um, there were so many artists in that region who were incredibly influential. So the data points that were coming through, there was like it's too much to go into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the way that music resonated, certainly in certain areas, like in San Francisco, for example, the Bay Area,
Hmm. Hmm.
KUSF was incredibly important.
Yes.
Of course.
Incredibly important. People like Bill Graham, incredibly important in
Hmm.
amplifying these frequencies. London obviously was very important. The northwest of England was very important. Scotland was very important. There was uh, so many cities that were had their own vibrant, thriving scenes, which we're only now just beginning to kind of look at. Everyone's bringing out their biographies and talking, and then you see the influence of bands like the Raincoats, for example,
Hmm.
Hmm.
on Nirvana.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
you begin to see these influences, and we're in this sort of, I guess, revisionist history moment.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, hopefully, there's a few of the bloodlines, a few of the tributaries get the storylines get set straight. The DNA of everything gets set
Hmm.
Yeah.
straight. There's a lot of claiming of who was first, who's the chicken and who's the egg in the in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
But ultimately, for us, for myself, it's all about the present moment. What we're doing.
Hmm.
I mean, the
Hmm.
cult continues to evolve. I work outside of the cult.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
it's we're not. It's such a convenient, a journalistic tag to go. It's an '80s band. No, the band sold about 8 million records in the 1980s. So yeah, it was a commercially poignant moment, but it was the peak of MTV.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that was
That
the
was so
amplification of
impactful.
that, and culturally impactful for you know people who were like teens. 'Cause we weren't that far out of our teens at that point.
Hmm.
But for teenagers, a very formative period. I can remember my teens, what was turning me on musically, like
Hmm.
seeing the New York Dolls on TV when I was like 12, and getting an absolute shock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or seeing
Yeah.
Bowie or anything like that. Um, and then that goes into your experience and
Yeah.
Well, that's
influence.
That's exactly what I'm saying when I'm referring to you because I remember seeing you and the way you performed. And it's been like this. I mean, every time I've seen you, it's your electric. It's almost like you're channeling versus performing. And I just have to wonder where you're pulling from and what it feels like in that moment. I think about like the Warfield where you're playing tonight. You talk about juju. There's so much juju in that
This
room.
you think about the molecules of sweat on that stage.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yes,
Absolutely.
that's exactly
Yeah.
what I mean. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
So that building in and of itself, especially in San Francisco right now, and I've been walking around San Francisco, so what is going on here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's flatlined.
It's an interesting city now
The
Yeah.
city is
in a different
flatlined,
way.
yet you find these pockets of real vibrant
Yeah.
Yeah.
energy. Like City Lights, for example,
Mm-hmm.
is always my first stop in San Francisco.
Okay.
Always. That's ground zero. And that's been going since 1955.
Yeah.
So, if that can reactivate the city, amazing. Buildings like the Warfield, promoters like Golden Voice are still in the community. Um, I'd love to see San Francisco in a renaissance, a
Mm-hmm.
cultural renaissance,
Mm-hmm.
a return to, and I am seeing as I'm traveling around, youth walking away from digital, a lot more DIY.
Oh, it's definitely a thing
And
right now, for sure.
vinyl. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
All of a
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
sudden, all of a sudden, disused office buildings in New York are becoming places for raves.
Mm-hmm.
Taking over
Ex-
the 40th floor of a disused office building, it's going to be an AI data center is being used for a rave,
That's awesome.
and it's
That's
all
very
word of
cool.
mouth.
Yeah.
And now
Very cool.
Jack Dorsey's got his new app out, um, and people are beginning to communicate through Bluetooth,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the new flyer. That's the new word of mouth. It's incredible. Technology is, I mean, it's staggering.
Yeah.
The velocity of technology. But ultimately, when you gather in rooms, the cult has always been mercurial.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, it would take probably, we'd have to be in a study group, I suppose, you know, to pull it all apart
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
because there's so much. But as a fan of music, I would seek it out,
Yeah.
and creativity in the arts and the processes and individuals and the intimate moments I've had with so many of my personal, icons, heroes,
Mhm.
people I worshipped as a child, and then got to meet them, found out they were just humans.
Yeah.
Uh,
Isn't it
and
weird
that,
how that is?
yeah. But please fire away. Ask me anything.
Well, it's just
Everything's up
I'm
for
sitting
grabs.
here. I'm reflecting. When I was a little girl, I used to. Okay, so I'm from Southern Oklahoma, Native American territory, and my grandmother was always worried about me because I would go play in the cemeteries, and she would especially worry about me in the Native American areas, because she didn't want me to disturb anything. So I would go out there and I would sit with my Walkman, my cassette player, and my little headphones on,
Mm,
and I would listen to the cult. So now sitting here all these years later, chatting with you about it. It's just interesting. You've set a lot of tones in my life. I have a home in New Orleans to talk about, again, juju. And so I have my cult
yeah,
vinyl here in my house, and I have the same vinyl at that house because I have to set the
incredible.
tone. Because New Orleans, like, please tell me you have spent some time there. I
Of
want to I
course,
want to know.
of course.
Okay. Okay, I had to assume. What is your experience there, and how do you feel about that city?
What, New Orleans? New Orleans?
Nolans, yes.
Yeah, that's just very wow. The blend of cultures that have been through that city,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
incredibly unique.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, everything from the architecture to the influence of African American culture, jazz.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, that place is lit
It really is.
It
with
That's
is.
the kind of
frequencies.
renaissance I want to see here. Like, you can
Okay.
actually still be a musician in New Orleans and make a living. Like, that's possible there. That's not possible here to just be a musician. You've got to have like three or four jobs and hustle and grind, and it's really nice to see
Mm.
there's a place like that that still exists. Now you got to play every night and work your ass off. I'm not saying that you don't, but it's nice to see that that kind of culture still exists.
Oh, absolutely. Um, Certain places have certain frequencies.
Yes.
New Orleans is a real gift to this, to the United States. It's given so much of itself.
Mm-hmm.
It still does. It's how can we say? It's an amplifier of frequency.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain
Exactly.
places you go where you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as you travel, you do pick up certain energies in certain cities. But New Orleans is I mention it in songs. I drop it,
Mm-hmm.
or drop that in songs occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I always have incredible experiences on the street, unexpected experiences, and
Yeah.
unexpected interactions with people on the street in New Orleans. Um, yeah, it's profound.
I
So,
always say I let the city lead. In New Orleans, that can be a great
oh
thing or a
yeah,
dangerous thing.
oh yeah, let the city lead. I mean, I've had many different adventures in that city. I remember we finished a tour when GNR were opening for us.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Finished in New Orleans. I think we ended up we're definitely in the French Quarter.
Uh-huh.
I find it
Yeah.
difficult to get out the French Quarter.
Yeah. Me
Although
too.
I love Magazine Street, that area, Lafayette number one. Always go to
Yes.
Lafayette number one, Lafayette number two, walk around, feel the frequencies. I mean, its locality to the Caribbean and that
Yep.
energy, its connection to Africa, its connection to French culture, Creole, jazz. I mean, it's endless, 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 very well documented.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely a portal.
Absolutely. Listen, Ian, just hearing you talk about that, and we love that you're such a fan of the art and like just take everything very serious. And like as Chasta mentioned, just your stage performance, she's such a big fan of. And I think for her and I, we both love how just authentic you are to
Mhm.
your craft, to the band, to your performance. I think that's why a lot of people connect with you.
Mm.
What's the genesis of that? Like, how did
I don't know.
You become like, yeah, how do you like I mean, like you're so true to yourself and
I
the
don't
performance.
know.
Yeah.
And I feel perhaps a huge thing for me was moving to North America when I was 11 as an immigrant
Okay.
kid, like going to Canada. I mean, and also my mother was Scots. My father was, Northwest Celt,
Okay.
Irish. Liverpool area is very unique.
Yeah.
I mean, how is it possible the Beatles came out of Liverpool?
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
And you see, I mean, really think about the Beatles for a second.
Yeah.
You go into it. I mean, you talk about punk rock.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, like Plastic Ono Band,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool's not a massive city.
Hmm.
And Manchester's just down the road, but I mean, it's a big city, but it's not like this sprawling metropolis like London or Tokyo or Paris or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, but there's definitely magic in the in the water. Um, and that for me was between Glasgow and the Liverpool area. I was never settled. I was always other. If I was
Mm.
in Scotland, they say I was English or Sassenach in
Mm-hmm.
Gaelic.
Mm-hmm.
If I was in England, I was haggis.
Wow.
I had a Scots nickname, and then when I went to Canada, I was just you're with those kids over there. You're an immigrant. So all my friends were Indigenous kids, immigrant
Yeah.
kids. So
Yeah.
I didn't know anything else. But what was consistent was music.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Music was
So
consistent.
where do
That's
you
how we
consider
communicated.
home? Is home just where you are with your music at any given time?
Home
It's
home
in
is
you?
is home is Los Angeles,
No, yeah.
Yeah.
but
You've lived there for a really long time though,
a
right?
very particular part of Los Angeles.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I do
Yeah.
not live on the west side.
Okay.
I can
Uh,
imagine.
I would love to know, but I won't ask that. That's private information.
oh no, I mean, if you know anything about Los Angeles, it's the seat of Esoteria in the west.
Uh-huh. I used to live there.
That's ground zero. So
Yeah, it is.
as San Francisco there's a ley line between San Francisco and LA,
Oh yeah,
especially
Mhm.
for sure.
with the beats and the musicians, the music scene, and the cultural Buddhism.
Hmm. Sure.
Alan Watts, their connection to Buddhism, which is
Hmm.
another Eastern spiritual
Mhm.
technologies, ended up on the influence of Asian Americans in San Francisco is incredibly unique.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Taoism, Buddhism, all coming here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
I'm glad you brought that up because I mean I have to ask. Here we are in the middle of Halloween week. I have read. I've traveled a lot. I've studied Buddhism and Taoism, and I've heard you talk about being in Tibet and speaking about death with a wise man there. And I don't want to quote him. Say what he said, but I thought that was really interesting about our
Oh,
passing.
probably when I was in Kathmandu actually. Probably saw
Mm,
uh, Sogyal Rinpoche, who wrote the
yeah.
Tibetan Book of Living and Dying,
Yeah.
which is a treatise on the bardos, the stations of when we drop the body,
Yeah.
and if those of us that believe in reincarnation or retransformation of our energy.
Hmm.
Um, he had a professor come out and talk about how wonderful he was, how enlightened he was. This
Mhm.
professor, some British, yes, this is, one of the most enlightened teachers, blah, blah, blah. And Sogyal Rinpoche came out and just said, yeah, that's great. Thanks very much. Let's just get straight into it. Make your mind an ocean. In fact,
Yeah.
expand. Make your mind the planet, make your mind the universe. Go beyond that. Go
Mhm.
beyond. It continues, it goes, it's quantum. And he said that dying is not the problem. He said, I will guarantee that everyone would do that. It'll be the most successful thing. We will all get 10 out of 10. We'll get 100 out of 100. We'll do it perfectly. The living part, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is where we get stuck.
The
So
death part we're not going to screw up. We'll nail that
we'll
one.
be good. We'll nail that. And
Yeah.
we'll nail that. So for those of us that are struggling out there, it's like, you've got time to work this out.
Hmm.
Take some time. Maybe step back a little bit, take an overview. Um, We have some incredible teachers right now. Robert Thurman, for example, Pema Chodron,
Hmm.
Mhm.
that are living in the West, living in the United States and
Yeah.
Canada, and they're teaching right now. It's very accessible.
Hmm.
There's a yoga studio on every block.
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from?
Absolutely.
Are
These
you
spiritual
a are you a yogi? Do you practice?
Well, yoga is not just about yoga is also a mindset.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
it's not just a if you have a practice, you can practice with intention or without intention. There's no rules. There's absolutely no
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah.
So I practice yoga physically and psycho-spiritually. I mean, it's there,
Yeah.
but it's not strange or it'd be great to like make it okay
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
to
Uh-huh.
be able to have esoteric conversations as part of our daily lives. Everyone has different faiths.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has different belief systems, different faiths, different backgrounds, different. Every family dynamic is different.
Yeah. That's why I bring
Every-
it up because I like to have these conversations. I think this should be normal
This is the
conversation.
Yeah.
conversation, I believe. This is the conversation. So, how do we bring it all together and hold our center?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That
That's
is
the trick.
really
That's the
challenging
trick.
because we can all trip out
Mm-hmm.
on the story. We all have stories.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to know the story. Tell me stories. And it's I had a manager, Tom, who once said to me, said, "That and a quarter will get you a cup of coffee."
Yeah,
So
that's true.
we all have our individual practices, and I'm no better than, no less than. I'm just a dude. I'm plugged into what I'm plugged into. I love what I love. I go through different phases, different periods, different ups and downs, like everyone else.
Hmm.
You know, it is absolutely a privilege to be able to do this, to live this life, even though it can be challenging. And as you well know, I'll say mental health
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
for for those of us that identify as creatives or are in creative arts is challenging, and there's not a lot of great communication around that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's almost like taboo
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
talk about
that's true.
feelings.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. But
You know,
You're
that's
it's
what
right.
we need.
not one size fits all, but we could have many conversations about um, various uh, philosophical faith based. You know, we could talk about that all day long. But the integration of that into music, let's I'll make it easy for you. We just say David Bowie.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
just say David Bowie.
That's where they come together right there.
Yeah.
That's the intersection. I
Well, it
like that.
is. I mean, you know, he
Yeah.
talks about it very early on. In fact, he was nearly a monastic himself when he was in his late teens.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
He was going to study at Sami Ling with Tibetan. It was a Tibetan monastery in Scotland,
Right.
Hmm. Hmm.
which is where Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche came out of, who started the Naropa School of um, the Naropa Institute in Boulder,
Hmm.
Colorado, which still exists. And
Yep.
Waldman, poet from one of the beats, Ginsberg taught there. Burroughs taught there.
It's crazy.
The Jack Kerouac School of Disembodied Poetics, all in the United States, it's all available,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and a lot of it's free.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely. You can go down a rabbit hole reading about it.
Well, you can get into whatever you need from it. You take
Hmm.
what you need and leave the rest. You know, just whatever you need. But there are resources out there.
That's no, that's really cool to hear. I mean, it's very important. I think you're right. It's a sensitive subject, but needs to be normalized. Just people who need
Yeah,
help and yeah, and talk about it. It's okay just to let it know
it's
it's okay.
okay.
Yeah.
It's absolutely okay to speak to somebody about where you're at.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I'm kind of curious, just from your perspective, with that being said, overcoming stuff with the cult, with the band, for you guys in your career, you guys were always, I felt, were true to your sound.
We
However,
still
you
are.
got
Let's
absolutely.
talk about this in the present tense.
Yeah, yeah, you guys are true to your sound. But
It's
with that,
true.
Present
Yeah.
yeah,
moment.
with
Yeah.
the true. But with that being said,
I'm sitting here
it's
talking to you. You
yeah,
know,
but you guys in the music industry over the decades have like fought through and survived different eras of music that was like considered trendy or the mainstream, what was popular at the time. For you guys, was there any sort of internal struggle of did you want to adapt or kind of sound more like what was popular at the time, or you're like, no, we got to stay who we are
no.
and keep going forward?
Feel that the conflict really started when the commercial success happened.
Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
okay,
Then that was difficult because there was terms and conditions.
mm-hmm,
All of a sudden, if you want to play in this arena or this environment
mm-hmm,
or this be a part of this festival or TV show or whatever, There's certain rules and regulations.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the more the conditions that were put upon us, that's when it started to get uncomfortable. And I certainly walked away from that. I mean, I had mentors like Bill Graham, and Bill Graham meant so much to me. He was a father figure to me, and
Mm.
he took me under his wing very early on, and I learned so much from Bill Graham. And he was always about community, and he was always about the artist, and always about promoting the community, and greatly missed. That manifested itself in Gathering of the Tribes,
Mhm.
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 which
Mhm.
was a response to the apartheid, the cultural apartheid that was created by MTV.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We can look at this, and we can actually, we've outlived MTV.
Oh
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I know at this
By
point.
leaps
Yeah.
and bounds.
It ate
Exactly.
itself. It's an Ouroboros. It consumed itself
That's
through
right.
through greed and avarice.
Yeah. That's
And
like
we
so
could
many
say,
other things. Yeah.
yet look what remains. I mean, you're sitting there in a Green Day t-shirt.
Yes. Play us out. My boys in Green Day.
Yeah.
You're representing. I mean, you're
Yes.
representing, but
I
for
always
you,
do.
well,
Mhm.
that's beautiful. I mean, everyone's got their besties and their faves.
Mhm.
Um, there's so much that's going on right now that's
Yeah.
not in what we consider what's mainstream now media. I don't know anymore. It's
Yeah.
just wherever you pick up your information is where you pick it up.
It's wherever you
Yeah.
are is where you are.
Well, like for example, look, I've got a thing called a newspaper
Yeah.
from look, it's a
Look at that.
newspaper,
Yeah.
but it's the Navajo Times from the Dene
Yeah.
Nation. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh wow.
That's
it's the
so
Navajo
cool.
Times from Dene Nation. I'm reading that. It's like I've
That's
just got up on the
fantastic.
road. It's a
That's
news.
great.
It's a newspaper, kids.
Yeah.
It's not all on the digital
Mhm.
on tap.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But wherever you want to go with the conversation, I can answer the historical questions. I can answer the
Well, I
whatever.
do have my most important question. We have 3 minutes left. Our little countdown clock here is
Yeah.
counting down. I could sit here for 5 hours with you. But the question that we always ask at the end of our interviews is my favorite, and I think you'll probably have my favorite answer, which is from the movie Almost Famous. And the question is, what do you love about music?
Well, first of all, Almost Famous, is that the Cameron Crowe one?
Yes.
I got in trouble when he wrote singles because it was supposed to be a depiction of what was happening in Seattle. It
Right.
wasn't. It was just a basic love story.
Yeah.
And everyone said, "What do you think of singles?" I'm like, I didn't feel that the most important part to me was the music,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that wasn't really featured. It was a
Yeah. Agreed.
romance.
Yeah. It's
Almost
true.
famous. Who cares about fame? What's fame anyway? It's an abstract construct. Um,
It's true.
um, so again, sorry, what was the question?
The question is about music, which we do agree on the importance. What do you love about music, Ian?
Music's everything. It's frequency.
Hmm.
Go ask a quantum physicist. Go to CERN in Switzerland. Ask those guys what they think about frequencies.
Yeah.
Now we're finding out frequencies can cure cancer
Hmm. Hmm.
with sound waves, etc.
Hmm.
I mean, you tap into that. I mean, somebody's alive and vibrant and plugged in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, you can read auras. I don't know if you guys can read auras, but
Oh yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding?
we got to get past this. Oh my God, so draconian,
I know.
so draconian. We have evolved. I mean, human beings are evolving at an incredible velocity,
Yeah.
and it can be terrifying.
Hmm.
Um, that's where I suppose artists come in
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
because they get on those frequencies and they start to compelled. I mean, I'm compelled to write, read. I can't stop.
Yeah.
People
That's
tell
what I
me
meant when
I
I
have to
said you were
stop.
channeling.
It's just what it got me through as a kid. I used to listen to pirate radio when I was a little kid. I had a
Yeah.
little Japanese transistor radio I got for like £1. I had one mono headphone and I'd listen to pirate radio from Europe. But I would hear
Wow.
things like strange things like The Doors or Can or Pink Floyd. I mean, for a 10-year-old, it was really exotic and esoteric, and I didn't know what I was listening to.
Mhm.
But
Probably did.
I knew there was something other than just it wasn't pop music.
Hmm.
But pop music in itself is an incredible art form.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot, that to put together a pop song takes great amount of skill and architecture, and uh, I respect, anybody that has the courage and the vulnerability to share their innermost workings with the world. I have a lot of respect and time for that.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Ian, well, I don't want us to get cut off. I'm afraid it's going to. I just want to say
We
thank you
won't
so
get
much
cut
for your
off.
time. Well, it's a stupid Zoom. That's why. Ah, baby Huey, I knew that was going to happen. I knew we were going to lose him. That's such a bummer. But wow, what a conversation with Ian Astbury of the Colts and Death Cult and Southern Death Cult. I mean, what?
Yes, he was awesome to talk to. Thank you, Ian, for making the time. But yeah, that's what happens. He was giving such great long answers, but very thoughtful, insightful, in depth. And yeah, we just ran out of time on the Zoom call, but we were towards the end of the interview
We
anyway.
were. We
We were
were.
trying to wrap it up, but thank you, Ian. If you see this, thank you again for
Yes.
making the time with us today. It was so cool to talk to a rock star legend like him.
And to go deep. And that was what I was so excited for because I was like, if there's ever going to be a rock star that I get to like dive into the deep end of the pool with, it's going to be Ian. And it was just as glorious as I thought it was going to be. So thank you, Ian. Make sure tonight, right this second,
Yes.
go grab your tickets for the Warfield, thewarfieldtheater.com. There are very limited tickets available left, and hopefully we'll see you out there.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be the Cult and Death Cult. So they're playing like this one long set and doing both eras of the band. So it's gonna be
Yeah.
really cool. You're gonna hear all the Cult hits, but you're gonna hear Death Cult songs as well. So, like Chasta said, go to the warfield.com for more info. Also, AXS.com for tickets. It's gonna be incredible. Get out there on a Monday night, legendary venue, the Warfield in San Francisco.
Bye, guys.
Bye.